So my specific question is that there was a report that came out in February from CNN that the FBI had let go or fired dozens of agents and staff members from a counterintelligence unit tasked with monitoring Iran. And apparently the reason, at least reported in the press, was that these individuals had been involved in the investigation of classified document handling from President Trump at Mar-A-Lago, and that this was the reason why they were summarily let go. First of all, are you aware of those firings, and do you concur with the rationale or reason for those firings?
I'm aware of that, and I know there's a pendency of litigation, so I'm not able to comment on them.
Did you yourself order those firings?
The FBI, every time there is someone who violates our code of conduct or ethical standard, conducts an internal investigation with the careers there, and they present a decision point to me. The Iranian Threat Mission Center has seen an increase of 43% in arrests for Iranian spy actors. So the Iranian Threat Mission Center has never been stronger.
So I'm asking about whether those people were fired because they were involved in the investigation of the document handling by President Trump, not for any behavior issues. Is that your understanding as well?
Again, ma'am, I can't comment on them because those are in pending litigation.
I guess I'm a little stymied here, Director, because it feels as though literally when there was a possible pending war, I'm outside of this intelligence circle in many ways, even though I serve on the Intelligence Committee. You collectively must have been aware when these firings happened that there was a meaningful chance that the U.S. might be engaged with a war in Iran. And having these very expert, super qualified folks summarily dismissed at this time, it just feels like an odd choice in timing. Were you aware at the time that this was going down, that this may end up weakening the mission and the readiness of that group?
The mission, as I stated, has never been stronger when you see a 43% increase in counterintelligence arrests and 21% increase in cyber arrests against the Iranian Threat Mission Center. My focus is on providing the American people the strongest FBI as possible. I don't work on timelines. I work on evidence that's presented to me.
I guess my concern is that it feels as though, and I very much honor the tone and tenor of this hearing, that this is about making sure that that we depoliticize what is the most important thing that we all do, which is keep us safe. And it feels as though this issue is a political issue. And I just am worried that we are taking really good, really qualified people and picking fights with one another across party lines, rather than making sure that we protect ourselves and keep ourselves safe.
We're jumping straight into a pretty tense C-SPAN transcript today.
Oh, yeah. It's a really intense congressional exchange between Representative Chrissy Houlahan and FBI Director Kash Patel.
Right. And just to set the stage for you, because this involves the FBI and, the classified documents investigation at Mar-A-Lago, it is an absolute political minefield.
Oh, completely.
So we really want to put a disclaimer out there right at the start. Our mission today is just to lay out the mechanics of the arguments on paper. We are completely ignoring the partisan noise. We're not taking sides here.
Exactly. We're just looking at a really fundamental administrative collision. It's that tension between enforcing strict internal conduct and, maintaining operations in a high-threat environment.
So let's start with the catalyst for this whole exchange. It's based on a CNN report from February, right?
Right. So that report stated that the FBI dismissed, I think it was dozens of agents and staff from a really highly specialized counterintelligence unit.
The one tasked with monitoring Iran.
Yes, specifically the Iran desk. And the really explosive part of the allegation is the why.
Right, because the press indicated these individuals were fired because they'd been involved in the investigation of President Trump's handling of classified documents at Mar-A-Lago.
Which is obviously a massive claim.
Yeah, and just to put the impact of that into perspective for a second, it's like abruptly benching your team's star defensive line, right before the championship game.
That's a really good analogy, yeah.
Because you're replacing them with people who might just have, like, a translation dictionary. Sure, maybe the new team can crack a few basic intercepts, but they lack the years of intuition to see the invisible patterns.
Right.
So how does Director Patel justify suddenly clearing out that level of institutional knowledge?
Well, he kind of he throws up a legal shield around the specifics. When Houlahan presses him, he refuses to comment directly on the alleged Mar-A-Lago connection.
Because of pending litigation.
Exactly. He cites pending litigation. But he does mount a defense based entirely on FBI protocol. He states that whenever an employee violates the Bureau's code of conduct or, ethical standards, it triggers an internal investigation.
Which eventually brings him to a decision point about their employment.
Precisely.
Okay, so since Patel legally walls off the why behind the firings, Houlahan kind of pivots. She goes after the only thing she really can, which is the immediate impact on national security.
Yeah, she actually tells Patel she feels stymied.
Oh, wow.
And she immediately zeroes in on the odd timing of this. She points out the huge risk of dismissing what she calls super qualified folks right when there's a really elevated chance of conflict with Iran.
Because her underlying worry is that this might just be a political fight crossing party lines that actively endangers American safety.
Exactly. Regardless of whatever conduct code was allegedly breached, she's focused on the danger of gutting a critical intelligence desk.
So how does Patel counter that? Because that's a pretty heavy accusation.
He basically pulls out the spreadsheets. He uses hard metrics to defend his position.
Like raw data.
Yeah. He claims the Iranian Threat Mission Center has, quote, never been stronger. He cites a 43% increase in arrests of Iranian spy actors and a 21% increase in cyber arrests. He says he works on evidence, not speculative timelines. So he's pointing to that output to prove the machine is functioning just fine without those specific agents.
Okay, but see, I have to challenge the premise of those metrics a bit.
How so?
Because in the counterintelligence world, a high arrest rate isn't necessarily a victory. Like, sure, sometimes a sudden spike means you successfully rolled up a spy ring.
Right.
But just as often, it means you've completely lost the ability to quietly monitor those targets. If you lose your seasoned agents, the ones who know how to, quietly track a network without alerting it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you might be forced to just burn the operation and arrest everyone prematurely because you literally lost the nuance to handle the situation. Short-term arrest spikes don't necessarily compensate for losing specialized knowledge.
And that gets right to the absolute heart of the debate in this transcript. Patel is looking at raw data to define security. Houlahan is looking at human capital.
Right. She's arguing the machine is compromised if you remove the experts.
Exactly. So it really highlights the core tension here.
Yeah.
How do you balance enforcing internal conduct with maintaining critical intelligence readiness during, extreme global instability?
It's a nearly impossible balancing act. Which actually brings us to a final thought we want to leave you with, something to mull over on your own after this deep dive.
Yeah, it's a big question.
When specialized intelligence units face this kind of sudden, massive turnover, how long does it actually take to rebuild that invisible network of human sources and intuition?
Because that's the kind of deep, quiet expertise that raw arrest metrics might never actually capture.